America used to be called the melting pot, where we could have one angle of an issue, another angle of an issue, and sometimes, other tertiary issues, but basically two main angles, and then leave it to adults to come up with what they think about that. That's what freedom of speech is about. And there was a time in America when we said, you know what, I may disagree with you. This used to be a popular phrase. I may disagree with you, but I would fight to the death for your right to believe what you believe. Guys, I don't know that that's true anymore. If you ask most people, would you be willing to lay down your life for the right for someone who believes Donald Trump was a great president to be able to say that? I don't think there would be very many. And vice versa. I don't think there would be very many on maybe the other side that would say, would you die for the right that Joe Biden's definitely your president now? No, I don't think they would. So we're in a very precarious position right now when it comes to this whole idea of free speech. So I've got a few articles here that underscore why free speech is a big deal, and I want you to know why it is. So maybe you haven't really heard much of this. Maybe it's been a while since you've been in school and you learned about the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment, but we're going to dig into it deep here today. If you're just joining us, we're about to dive into what the big deal is about protecting the idea of free speech. All right, so this first article is from a website, pacificlegal.org. The title is Remembering Why Free Speech is Important. At a time when freedom of speech seems to be under assault, it's worth stepping back to reconsider why it matters. In a free society, all citizens must be able to pursue their own paths, set their own goals, and think for themselves. Of course, in America and elsewhere, there are norms, orthodoxies, and taboos. Any dissident personalities frequently challenge these norms by eschewing the orthodoxy and venturing into taboo. And I think it's okay. Like, I remember when I was a kid, the one that pushed orthodoxy in like the entertainment world was Madonna. Madonna came out and had like burning crucifixes in her music videos. And there was kind of this, oh my God, because it was against the orthodoxy. And it was taboo. You don't burn a cross. Oh my gosh. And so there was kind of this move to try to silence her, and people that were like looking at freedom of speech going, all right, guys, it's just speech. It's just speech. Lady Gaga, I guess, is the epitome of that in today's society. She wore the meat suit and about made all the vegans have an aneurysm. That VMA award she went to in a dress made out of meat. And so sometimes you will venture into the taboo, and sometimes you will break from orthodoxy. Does that make it disallowed, that speech? I don't think so. How a society treats these dissidents can tell you a lot about how truly free that society is. Listen to this, you guys. In some places, the government will silence or punish those with unpopular viewpoints for refusing to sacrifice their independence and their ideas. And this just happened last year, might have been late the year before, with the protests in Hong Kong. Remember that? And how China clamped down on them and silenced them, punished them for going against the grain of popular opinion. So America, juxtaposed to that, offers a very rich tradition. People have been traditionally able to freely express their ideas, even if they're unpopular, even if they're unconventional, and even if they're wrong. Like, I am so sick of this, oh, we have to prevent misinformation from getting out there. No. There is no such thing as misinformation. There's called information that's either right or wrong. Information is not harming anyone. Information is, informing people. And in that informing, you let people express their ideas, express what they believe. If it's wrong, it's going to become quickly evident just how wrong it is. But when you force Silence upon those things that you say are wrong. What if those things you silence are actually right? Then what? What is left? What is left is either a half-truth or an outright lie in and of itself. What happens when you squelch one side and only let the other side be heard is you're not being educated, you're being indoctrinated and propagandized. Guys, this is out of the playbook of communism. Do you not know your history? Go back and look at Nazi Germany. Go back and look at the USSR. It's bad. This is like the playbook of all playbooks. Joseph Stalin. Look up these people in American history and world history, and you will see just how bad squelching freedom of speech is. Americans are thus free to participate in peaceful protests, which we saw last year. Not just peaceful protests. We saw protests that got a little bit fiery and violent. You can wear black armbands to school, and you can even burn the American flag. I remember that was controversial when I was a kid as well. Oh my gosh, they're burning an American flag, but it was a form of speech of people who were saying, you know what, I don't like some things going on in America. I'm going to burn a flag to express that feeling. Now, I never loved people burning flags. I think the flag is sacred. You don't mess with the flag. But if that was their decision to rebel against what they think are wrongs in America, then so be it. It's free speech. A speaker may say things that are unpopular, uncomfortable, or downright grotesque. In a free society, though, we engage dissent through discussion and debate, not through censorship and punishment. Guys, one of the things that sets America apart from the rest of the world is we have this ability to speak our minds, to say things that might be unpopular, might make people uncomfortable, might be even gross or profane in some way. They got a right to do it. The First Amendment avails them of that right. And so what we're seeing now with things being fact-checked on social media, things being just downright removed. I had a video over the weekend, or I guess late last week, removed from YouTube simply because I shared a differing opinion regarding the 915 V word than what is the norm out there. And guys, they've cracked the code. Now when I use V word, they're flagging my videos. So even now, I have to come up with another way to kind of code you guys when I talk about those things, because they're already flagging. I looked through like all my videos on YouTube, and every single one where I used V word, they flagged it as could be suspicious content. Every single one of them. So they know, they're watching. Is that right? That to me is taking away free speech. Free speech is inextricably, listen to this, linked to prosperity. America has thrived in our 200 and something years of existence. Almost 250 years we've been a nation. We have thrived as a nation, the most wealthy, abundant, blessed nation in all of world history in only less than 250 years. And right now, we are seeing the ramifications of what happens when you leave those principles behind. Free speech inextricably linked to prosperity. You want to know maybe why we're not prospering as much as we usually do? Because we're throttled. We've got a media that only shows one side of stories. We've got so many things going wrong right now because we've stifled free speech. After all, prosperity comes from ideas. And new ideas can thrive only in a society in which they are free from suppression. This is what I don't understand. Well, we can't have that idea because it's inciting people and it goes against what everybody believes. Yes! Anytime progress has been made in all of history, the way it was made was somebody was willing to buck the system. Somebody was willing to say, that's interesting, but what about this? And offering a different opinion. That is what has made us so unique and creative and innovative and continue to prosper as a nation. But now they're trying to back that away. It's easy to think of widely embraced ideas that were once controversial. Listen to this. The idea that all children, regardless of race, should have the same educational opportunities. That didn't used to be true. It also didn't used to be true that we thought all humans were created equal, because there was this horrible decision by the Supreme Court called Dred Scott, where they identified black people as 3/5 human. Now, how messed up is that? So we haven't always had ideas that were right or that were just, but they were ideas nonetheless. And because those ideas got out there, now we have the ideas and the things that have made us what we are now. This is a slippery slope, guys. Thanks to free speech, forward-looking ideas helped shape our society and make it better. We are better because of our debate of ideas. Today, it is more important than ever before to protect freedom of speech. Too many people have come to believe that discussion and debate are inadequate. They seek a society that squelches any kind of dissent with force. Looking at you, Instagram. Looking at you, Facebook. Forcibly, and those of you watching on the replay, looking at you, YouTube. They are removing anything that they deem as misinformation, dangerous, misleading. They don't want you to be exposed to ideas that go against the norm. Guys, I love it when someone challenges what I believe, because in that challenging of what I believe, I learn something. I grow. Maybe I see an angle of something that I didn't see before. Now it's crystal clear in front of me. Oh my gosh, I never saw it that way before, right? Think about how we have been taught our entire lives that a low-fat diet is the way to get healthy. We all believe that, right? How did we stop believing it? Because I'm assuming most of you that follow my work, you don't believe that anymore. How did we stop believing that? We were willing to question and challenge and look at voices speaking against it. And we came to the conclusion that they made a whole lot more sense than the low-fat ones, right? Same difference here. Same difference with any issue. It's not misinformation, it's information. And through that information, you learn what you believe and why you believe it. In law, government regulations are censoring speech that is disparaging, immoral, and offensive. In culture, people attack the speaker rather than engage the ideas. Oh my gosh. Like, I know when I have won a debate when they turn personal. They stop talking about the ideas that are being shared and they talk about the person espousing the ideas. And I put ideas out there quite a bit all over social media. I do it here on Jimmy Rants every single day. I put out ideas. And if you disagree with the idea, okay, push back on the idea. But no, what I get is, well, you're just a ignorant fat fuck and you should just shut the fuck up. And I'm like, okay, thank you for verifying that my argument won. Because if you have to go to personal attacks that quickly, you can't argue on the issue. It's very obvious. And it happens every single day. Opponents vilify speakers. They call them misogynist or racist. And then they attempt to drive them from the public square or deprive them of their livelihood. We've seen a lot of things like doxing, where they kind of out people and give their addresses. We've seen the cancel culture that's become pretty popular over the past year. They don't want you to go against the grain. I missed the meeting where they said, okay, these are the accepted ideas. These are the ones that aren't accepted, and you better stay on the accepted and not the unaccepted, or you're going to be praised if you do the accepted ideas and vilified and canceled, and I'm going to ruin your life if you got the unacceptable ideas. That ain't America, guys.